Welcome to Loving Me Before I Love You with Tammy Nicole, the podcast dedicated to you loving and putting yourself first. Others have come first in your life for years, and you know it's time for that to change. You're about to be empowered to set healthy boundaries, confidently have hard conversations, unapologetically put yourself first, and live the peaceful life you deserve. Remember, self-love is essential, and loving yourself sets the stage for every other love in your life. So get ready to embrace self-love like never before with your host, Coach Tammy Nicole.
Hey, welcome back to Loving Me Before I Love You. It is Transformation Tuesday. And for this Tuesday, we're going to start a little bit like this. So I remember the exact moment I realized I didn't actually know who I was. And what was crazy is that nothing dramatic actually had happened. There was no big breakup, no major loss, no loud wake-up call. It was actually just silence. So I was just sitting in my house one evening after the kids had gone to bed and the house was finally quiet. No emails, no phone calls, no one asking me for anything. It was just me. And I remember sitting there thinking, now what? Not because there was nothing to do, but because there was always something to do. So laundry could be folded, some work emails could be answered, something around the house could be cleaned. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't want to do any of those things. So I just sat there. And when you sit with yourself long enough, your mind starts to talk. And mind asked me a question I had never really answered before. Tammy, what do you like? Not what the kids like, what does your husband like, what does your job require, but what do you like? And as I sat there and start looking at the walls saying, I really don't have an answer for that. So now I'm letting it sink in. Here I was, a grown woman who was educated, accomplished, a mother, a wife, a professional, and I couldn't tell you what actually made me happy. I knew what I was responsible for. I knew what people expected from me. I knew how to show up for everyone else. But I had never really taken the time to meet myself. I knew the roles, I knew the titles, but I didn't know the woman. And that realization shook me to my core. Because so many of us are living like that. We know how to perform. We know how to handle business. We know how to survive. But we have never actually slowed down long enough to discover ourselves. We are moving through routines. We wake up, we take care of our responsibilities, we show up for everybody else. We go to sleep and wake up and do it all over again. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, we slowly disappear. It's like watching a movie and seeing a person fade away. So finding yourself is not about creating a spa day. It's not even about getting your nails. It's not getting your hair done or your nails done. It's not even posting a cute quote about self-care. Finding you is deeper than that. Finding you is sitting with your thoughts long enough to hear them. It's asking yourself questions you've been avoiding. It's having the hard conversation with yourself. It's being honest about the parts of you that were built just to survive. And realizing some of those versions of you were never actually you. Some of them were coping, some of them were adapting, some were performing, but they weren't you. And that night, me sitting in the quiet house asking myself that one simple question that I actually could not answer, that was the beginning of me discovering who I was. And today, that's what I want to talk about. Finding me. What does it actually look like and mean to find yourself? What does that process look like? What does it feel like when you sit and start to peel back the layers? And why so many of us spend so many years, sometimes decades, living lives that actually don't belong to us. So today, we're going to talk about it. Because at some point in your life, you have to stop existing in a routine and start discovering who the hell you are. After this, you will then discover that you may not have been living the life you actually desired. You've been living the life that somebody else designed. When other people design our lives for us, we just find ourselves stuck on a hamster wheel because we never know where to go next. We just keep going in the routine that they created. And so discovering ourselves looks a little bit like this. I want you to take the time and sit, close your eyes, and allow the first thought to come through. When that thought comes through, I want you to take the time and actually talk about that thought. Where did it derive from? Where is it originated in, right? All of the things that we think about ourselves, regarding ourselves, come from somewhere. They didn't just come out of nowhere, out of thin air, and appear. They came from survival. They came from people pleasing. They came from pouring into other people instead of pouring into ourselves. When you take that thought and analyze it and look at it for what it is, look at it for its literalisms, look at it for what it implies, look at it for how it's looking back at you. When we do those things, we then can give real understanding to the things that we think on the daily basis. Some of us think of ourselves in a way that if you told somebody, you would be ashamed that they even know that that thought came to your mind. Some of us think of ourselves in ways that is diabolical. And some of us have thoughts about ourselves that it's like, if I think this of me, why do I behave so differently? Your thoughts should control your actions, but for some of us, they do not. Sometimes we think things that are unhealthy, right? It's like when you have that thought of yourself that says, I should be in a better place than I am today. I just don't know how to get there. Or you have the thought that says, you're not worth getting that job, don't apply for it. Or you have the thought that says, girl, you're better than all of these people. But at the same time, your behavior says, maybe not. I think a lot of times when we try to go to discover ourselves, most of us fall short in doing so because we don't know if the things that we truly desire is what we're allowed to think, believe, and want. Because for so long, we have depended on other people to tell us what that thought should be. I want you to, after analyzing that thought that you had about yourself, validate it. Is the thought real? Is it true? Does it matter? I like to say, when I tell myself if I'm supposed to have a coaching business that is generating a revenue of $300,000 a month at minimum, when the thought of, girl, you don't need that much money to come in every month comes to mind, do I sit in it and say, where did that thought come from? And then I decide, oh, okay, that thought came from people that feel like you should just have enough versus having an abundance. But that's not how I see myself. I see myself in a space of have what you want. And if what I want is $300,000 a month at minimum, then that's what I should have. Because if I'm being completely honest, having $1 million day is possible. And if I can have $1 million day, that means I can have 30, 365, I can have $1 million day every day if I desired that, right? Because if it can happen once, it can happen again. And the things that happen for other people are possible to happen for myself. Finding myself says, whatever I want, I can have. Whoever I want to be, I can be. Wherever I want to go, I can go. Because I'm doing me. Too many of us are doing other people. We're not doing ourselves. We're not being ourselves. We're being what other people said we could be. We're being and doing what other people said we could do. I want you.
Wow, today's episode is a good one. I know you're enjoying it, and we'll get back to it shortly. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that Tammy would love for you to share any questions, comments, or topic ideas you have with her. All you have to do is send them to her in an email to podcast@IamTammyNicole.com. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get back into today's show.
To take time, sit with yourself, and it doesn't take a lot. And if you don't like being alone, that's perfectly fine. Get a friend that you can trust, a friend that you can sit across from and say, girl, I'm thinking this about myself. And let them reflect that thought back to you so that you can hear it. A lot of times we don't hear ourselves because we don't say it out loud. A lot of times we don't hear ourselves because we keep that thought and then muffle it. Get somebody that can repeat it back to you, and then you say, I would, analyze it, decide, does this really work? Is this really valid? Is this really true for me? Having truth allows us to see things differently. But truth is based upon who? You. It's your life. It's your decisions. After you do that, after you analyze that thought and validate that thought, contradict it and see if the contradiction works. Because so many of us are trying to put ourselves in imposter syndrome. We put ourselves there because we want to act like that the thought or belief that we had at first isn't good enough. But it is good enough. It's exactly what you need. It's exactly who you are. And it's like, walk in it. Stop being so afraid. I was talking to my granddaughter today. We were actually running the track, walking the track, and she wanted to run. And I said, you can run. Go ahead, run, be free. She says, I'm scared. I said, wait, you should not have any fear about running and doing what you desire to do. If you want to do it, do it. I'm here to support you. So having a support system in this process is important. I watched her run off with a smile on her face. And every time she looked back to see if I was still watching, I was, because she needed the support system. She needed to know that she could continue. She needed to know that she had somebody that had her back in the process. And so many of us do not go find healthy support systems. We don't find people that can be in our corner supporting us and encouraging us and rooting for us and cheering for us as we are desiring to discover ourselves. You being happy, you being in a place of fulfillment and having people around you that want you to be there as well is super, super powerful. But if you're in a circle that everybody wants to keep you bound and keep you to the old version of you, be very leery because they're benefiting from your destruction. Because if you are staying in a place where you don't know you, it's destroying you. It's not elevating you. And they know it. And they know it. But they're getting a benefit from it. So I tell you to walk with caution. Be curious of why a person would not want to see you grow. Every relationship you're ever in should always have benefit to you. It should not just be a place where you are depositing and putting out and giving and not receiving anything in return. And if the only thing you ever received in return is their admiration for you of what you do for them, be leery. Be very leery. A lot of times we sit around and we think because somebody is giving us praises for what we do for them, that it's like this big, amazing thing, and that this relationship is an equal exchange when it's not. If you don't feel comfortable enough sharing your deepest, darkest secret or your struggles with an individual who you call friend, they're not your friend. You're their friend. They're not yours. Some relationships are one-sided. They shouldn't be. And if you're engaging in a one-sided relationship, I caution you to evaluate and make adjustments. Being able to know who you are includes knowing the friendships and the relationships that you're involved in. How you show up, how you're received, is all based upon how you see you. And if you are struggling with understanding who you are, I encourage you to join my coaching program. I literally have a Reclaim program that is a 7-step. We do it in 6, but it's a 7-step program that basically allows you to get yourself back to you. Because you have been told for so long that loving yourself means going to get your hair done, your nails done, going to a spa day, or, taking a vacation, or buying that brand new outfit, because if you look good, you feel good, etc. And those things, they matter. Don't get it twisted. But if you don't know how to take hold of your thought patterns and have your mindset set on love, light, and just enjoyment, joy, if you can't have your mindset set on that, if you don't understand how, when you make a mistake, how to forgive yourself in the process, if you don't know how to set a healthy boundary and allow people to cross over into a space that you're uncomfortable, if you don't understand how to own your own health, how to make sure that you are walking in a space of healthiness, not necessarily being a certain weight or a certain dress size, but being healthy, where you're not on a bunch of medication all the doggone time, and you can control your intake of what you putting into your body, that you say what goes in here matters to me. That is love, because you are saying that I'm going to take care of the temple God gave me in a way that says I'm going to put the things that are healthy and beneficial to me in it. That's love. The very thing that you think you're giving to other people that you don't give yourself is an indication that you don't love you. You have created an idea of what love looks like. And what love looks like to you is what society has put out on these picture screens and on social media. And it's looking like a bunch of gifts and a lot of trips and somebody appearing to be considerate of you. But do you consider yourself? Are you taking yourself on that trip? Did you take yourself to that restaurant? Are you doing the things for you that you desire others to do for you? Because everything starts with you. You are the start and the finish of your own story. And if you are so bent on your story reading like other people are writing it and you have no pen in your hand, that is the problem. Find yourself, write your own story. I have a coaching program that you can join that will help you learn how to do that. I have a Me, Myself, and Love self-love journal that will help you do that. That will walk you from your past to your present and teach you how to date yourself, teach you how to understand who the hell you are. We don't know ourselves, and we sit around here and we think we're going to figure out who we are through other people. And you don't figure it out that way. You figure it out by sitting with you. You figure it out by trying new things. You figure it out by getting an understanding of how you show up with other people. If I came to you and told you every time I encounter you, I feel like you're negative, I feel like you have a depressed countenance because you don't smile, you don't have energy in your tone, you don't have this and if I said that to you and you mentally are saying to yourself, but I'm happy and I do all these things, it would give you a space of reflection because you become the common denominator in how other people experience you. So ask people around you, how do you experience me? How do I show up? What is my countenance when I come in your space? When you do that, that allows for you to say, I'm getting to know myself fully. So I'm encouraging you to take the time to get to know you. Take the time to spend in doing something you enjoy. Take the time to spend in doing something you don't even know if you would like or not. It's new, but take the time. It's very important that we give ourselves what we need versus waiting on other people to give it to us. I encourage you to get to know you. And I encourage you, if you need help, to hit me up. I enjoy walking you through discovering you, reclaiming yourself. That is exactly what I do. I help women reclaim their voice, their power. And I do it through teaching them how to love themselves and how to build confidence and courage with clarity. Join me. I promise you, you won't forget it. Like I promise you, you won't regret it. Hit me up, send me questions, comments, concerns, you know all the good things. You can go to coaching@IamTammyNicole.com. You can go to stand.store/IamTammyNicole to get any of my digital products. I have books on how to love yourself through depression, self-love, dating, all that good stuff. Hit it up and actually come join the coaching program. Remember, you are the blueprint, signed self-love, because you're to love yourself so much to love from others as a bonus. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
That's a wrap on another episode of Loving Me Before I Love You. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to show your support by subscribing and leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Stay connected with Tammy. Make sure you're following her on Instagram and TikTok at Coach Tammy Nicole. If you like to work with Tammy or have any questions you'd like her to answer, please head over to www.IamTammyNicole.com. Until next time, always remember to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus.